Picture this. It's Monday morning, you open your laptop, and there it is, the red badge of doom.
Oh, I know that feeling.
147 unread messages, and you have this phantom memory of a meeting you were supposed to be in, but you just can't find the invite.
Your pulse just spikes.
Exactly. It's not an inbox, it's a war zone. Now imagine a system worth $1,650 that acts like a dual-brain executive assistant. It gives you back 10 hours a week. That's what we're unpacking today.
It's a really compelling promise. And what's fascinating is we're not talking about some sci-fi future. This is a blueprint from n8n that uses tools you can get right now in 2026.
Welcome to the deep dive. I'm really looking forward to this because honestly, I think everyone listening has felt that inbox dread. Today, we're dissecting a guide on building a professional AI email manager with a tool called n8n.
Right, and this isn't just about clearing out spam. We're talking about a custom AI agentic system.
Agentic is the key word.
It is. This system reads, it categorizes, and this is the crucial part, it drafts replies in your specific voice DNA.
Voice DNA, I love that. Okay, so here's our roadmap. First, we'll look at the architecture, why this system needs, two brains instead of one. Second, we'll get our hands dirty with the build itself, the nodes, the tools, and this secret weapon writer agent.
And finally, the business side, how to actually sell this outcome using something called the doctor method.
A solid plan. So let's start with that architecture. The source material talks about going from that war zone inbox to an automated system. Before the how, tell me about the what. What's the tech stack here?
It's a really potent combination. At the center, you have n8n. That's the platform that orchestrates everything. Think of it like digital Lego blocks.
Okay.
Then for the intelligence, the guide specifically recommends Claude 4.5 Sonnet.
That's interesting. Not GPT 5.2. That seems to be the default for, well, everything these days.
No, and that's a very deliberate choice. n8n argues that for this specific task-writing, human-sounding emails, Claude 4.5 Sonnet just has a more natural human writing style. It sounds less robotic.
That makes sense. If you're automating your voice, you don't want to sound like a chatbot.
Exactly. So you have n8n, Claude, the Gmail API, Google Contacts, and Slack.
But you mentioned two brains. Why not just have one giant AI bot do everything?
That's the classic mistake. It's the jack of all trades, master of none problem. If you try to make one AI monitor spam, schedule meetings, and write thoughtful replies, it just gets confused. It starts to hallucinate.
So how does this system split the work?
It divides the labor. First, you have brain number one, the auto router. This is your gatekeeper. It's on 24/7.
It doesn't sleep.
Never. Its only job is to flag emails from your team, categorize external stuff like sales or finance, and log it all in a Google Sheet. It just keeps the noise away from you.
Okay, so that's the defensive line. What's brain number two?
Brain number two is the Slack assistant. This is the executive genie. And this is where the user experience just completely changes. Instead of opening Gmail, you're in Slack and you talk to your inbox.
You talk to it.
You type something like, show me emails from Eugene, or what's the latest on the Q1 budget? And the system goes and fetches it for you.
Wow, that really reframes the whole relationship. You're not checking email, you're commanding it.
Precisely.
So why does that distinction between the router and the assistant matter so much for the user experience?
It separates the background processing from the active, on-demand command center. You're not seeing the mess, just the answer.
All right, I'm sold on the concept. Let's get into the weeds. Step one in the guide seems simple enough. Set up a Slack trigger.
Right. And a pro tip from the source here. Make a private channel. Call it, I don't know, hashtag AI inbox.
Right.
You do not want to test this in a public channel where your whole team sees you debugging your prompts.
Good advice. So we have the trigger, now we need the brain. Step two is the core AI agent. This is the traffic controller, right?
Correct. This is the brain that figures out what you want. And the magic here is in the system prompt. You can't just tell it, be helpful. You have to define its duties. Identify, query, and route.
And crucially, what it shouldn't do.
Exactly. The prompt has a very hard rule. This agent must never write emails itself. It delegates. It's a manager. It doesn't do the work. It assigns it.
I love that. So the core agent decides what to do. Let's say I ask it to find an email. It uses the Gmail tool. But the guide mentions a specific trap here, something about a simplify option.
Yes. This is a detail that trips up so many people. In the n8n Gmail node, that simplify option is often checked by default.
Yeah.
If you leave it on, the AI only gets a tiny snippet of the email, like 100 characters.
Oh, wow. So the AI is trying to summarize a whole contract, but it only sees the first sentence?
Exactly. It's flying blind. So the guide is very clear. You have to disable simplify, give the AI the full body of the email so it can actually understand the context.
That feels like $1 million tip right there. Okay, so we can search. Now, step 4 is the context tool, the Rolodex. Why is this a separate thing? Can't the AI just guess the email address?
You never, ever let an AI guess an email. It's a recipe for disaster. The context tool lets you ask, what's John's email? And the AI hits the Google Contacts API to get the actual verified address.
I see.
And this is totally non-negotiable before you start drafting. It prevents hallucinations. The AI has to verify the recipient exists before it writes a single word to them.
Okay, I have to ask, why is the context tool such a non-negotiable step before drafting?
It prevents hallucinations.
Well,
The AI must verify the recipient exists before writing to them. Otherwise, you're just sending emails into the void.
got it. And this brings up that vulnerable admission idea. I feel like we all have this arrogance when we start building AI. We think, I can just write one giant prompt to do everything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I still wrestle with prompt drift myself. You build this beautiful, complex prompt that's supposed to be a lawyer and a poet and a scheduler all at once.
And what happens?
You just end up with a pet monkey that throws errors at you. You have to break it down into specialized roles.
Which leads us perfectly to the secret weapon, the writer agent. This is what drafts replies in your voice DNA. So why a whole separate workflow for this?
3 big reasons. Token efficiency, cognitive load, and specialization.
Okay, break this down.
Token efficiency is just economics. If you put your giant style guide into the main agent's prompt, you're paying for those tokens every single time you do a simple search.
Right.
It's just wasteful.
Right, and cognitive load.
We touched on this. An AI trying to route, search, and write at the same time is going to do a mediocre job at all 3.
And specialization.
This is the fun part. By isolating the writer, you can give it this huge, complex prompt that is only about tone. The source calls it the AI Fire email voice agent persona.
I read that prompt. It's intense. It says things like, do not explain reasoning, just write, and no hope this finds you well, fluff.
Exactly. The persona is calm, confident, concise. The sign-off is literally hard-coded, cheers, AI Fire. It just strips away all that robotic as a large language model vibe.
The no fluff rule alone is worth the price of admission.
It saves time for everyone. But there's another technical layer here that's just brilliant. The structured output parser.
What does that do?
You know how sometimes you ask an AI to write something and it replies, sure, here's a draft for you, and then it gives you the text?
Yeah, super annoying when you just want to copy-paste.
The structured output parser forces the AI to return a clean JSON object, literally just subject and body, no conversation, no filler. It makes the data perfectly ready for the next step.
Which is the final safety mechanism. This system creates a draft. It never, ever auto-sends.
Never. That is the golden rule. An AI is powerful, but it can still misunderstand you. You have to be the one to click send. The AI tees up the ball, you swing the club.
So how does that sub-workflow actually get the task from the main agent?
The main agent uses a n8n workflow tool to pass the prompt and contact info to the specialist. It's like a baton pass in a relay.
That's really elegant. Okay, but this is where it gets interesting for any entrepreneurs listening. This isn't just a cool personal project. The source frames this as a product you can sell for $1,650.
Yes, and this is a huge pivot. We go from being a builder to a business owner.
The guide mentions the doctor method. I'm intrigued. How are we selling n8n nodes with a medical metaphor?
Well, think about a pharmacist versus a doctor. A pharmacist just fills an order. You ask for aspirin, they give you aspirin. If you try to sell this as, I'll build you some automation, you're being a pharmacist.
And clients don't care about the nodes.
They don't. The doctor, on the other hand, diagnoses pain. You ask the client, where are you losing energy? Where's your time bleeding out? For most executives, the answer is email.
Right.
Then you do the math. This is the persuasive part. If a business owner values their time at, say, $200 an hour, and they spend 10 hours a week on email.
That's $2,000 a week.
$2,000. Wasted. So when you come in and say, I'll build a system that gives you those 10 hours back for a one-time fee of $650, you're not selling them a cost.
You're selling a return on investment.
You're selling a discount. You trade $1,650 once for a $2,000 savings every single week.
When you put it that way, it's a complete no-brainer. It pays for itself in less than a week.
Exactly. But you have to prove it works. You can't sell a system that hallucinates on day one. The source mentions specific tests.
What are the key ones?
Search, contact lookup, and draft response. You have to nail those. If you ask, what's my friend's email, and it makes one up, You don't have a product. You have a liability.
So what is the ultimate product here if it's not the code?
The product is reclaimed time, specifically 520 hours a year.
Welcome back. Let's just recap the big picture here. You have this really elegant architecture, the gatekeeper router, the Genie assistant in Slack, and then the ghostwriter that handles your voice.
And it's a psychological shift, right? It's not about automation just to be cool. It's about an executive assistant mindset. You're hiring a bot that knows your voice for the cost of API calls.
And the key takeaway for me is that sub-workflow specialization. Isolating tasks is what stops the LLM from failing at everything.
The jack of all trades, master of none problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a provocative thought for you, the listener. The source says this system saves 3 months of full-time work per year. What would you actually do with an extra 3 months of free time in 2026?
That's a huge question. And if I can encourage you to do just one thing after this, open n8n. Just try building that Slack trigger. Get that one piece working.
It's a great place to start. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.